Hey everybody, welcome to Paranormal Zone TV, the Do You Believe show. And oh my God, guess what? I have Harvey Althaus with me tonight. I am so excited. Oh my God. I'll tell you in a little bit. Now, Harvey is a remote viewer, and he's a friend of mine. I've known him for some time, and I just love Harvey. And so tonight, Harvey's going to talk to you about remote viewing, and we're going to take you to some locations. Now, the thing is, I got information because of Harvey and your friend.
My friend, Greg Wojan.
Who got us the information on the Cross Castle in New Jersey. Remember, I did the show on Clinton Road. Well, and it was on the Cross Castle we talked about. Well, oh my God! Wait till you see the information that we got because of Harvey and
Greg Wojan.
And Greg, hi if you're watching. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. So Harvey, I brought you on because you're a remote viewer, and it's about time you came onto my show.
It's been a while.
Tell the viewers.
It's been a while. Hi, everybody. I'm Harvey Althaus. I live in South San Francisco, California. Like Noreen said, I've known her for 3 years.
Oh, yeah, at least.
Yeah, at least 3 years. We met because of a mutual friend. And anyways, I'm a sensitive. I've been around this all my life pretty much. Earliest memories as of maybe 4 years old, which is typical. Most sensitives claims, they start at a very young age. But the remote viewing part, I do many things. Empath, psychometry, energy balancing, just you name it. I've found over the years that I can do all this stuff. But one thing that kind of caught me off guard was remote viewing.
Now, how did you become a remote? How did you know you can even do that?
Well, that's a good question, and I actually have an answer for that. It was all by accident, literally, by accident. A good friend of mine, 20 odd years ago, we were at her mother and father's house. We have a party when we were young. Before my wife and I got married, we would have get-togethers with all of our friends, and we happened to be at this one friend's house, and her father had just purchased some land up in the gold country and was very proud of it, and he wanted to show me because he knew I liked to go, the gold panning and all that stuff, and thought I'd be interested, so he wanted to know if I wanted to see a plot map. So he showed me, he unrolled this plot map of his property, and all it was like a blueprint, but in reverse. It was a white piece of paper with blue writing, and all it had was boundary markers on it, no physical features. And latitude, longitude, compass points, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this piece of paper, and I started seeing things, like in my mind of what's on the property.
And you didn't know you could do this before?
No, absolutely not. And I was kind of hemming and hawing about it, and he asked me, well, what's the matter? I said, well, I don't know how to say this, but I need to ask you a question. He goes, all right, ask away. And I says, I see whatever this was on his property. And this one most prominent thing was the hill, the property sloped up to a hill, which, it's in the gold country. Of course, it's going to slope up to a hill. But I said, but on the other side of the hill, I see this stucco house with a Spanish blue tile roof. And I remember he stopped dead, and he looked at his son, and his son looked at him, and his dad goes, how the hell do you know about that?
Oh my God.
They just went up that hill the weekend prior.
Oh my God.
And then another thing, I was looking at the easement to the property from the county road, and I said, I have a feeling that you were digging fence posts. He goes, yeah. And I says, did you lose a shovel down one of the holes? And he goes,
no
absolutely.
Way.
What happened was that up in that part of the gold country, there's all these old hard rock mines. So there were shafts crisscrossing his property all over the place. And they were digging post holes, to put a gate up, and they broke through one of them, and because it was really shallow to the road, and they lost their shovel down in it.
Oh my God! But Harvey, so How come all of a sudden you could do that? Did something happen? Did you get hit in the head, or did you have some kind of an accident? Or
No, nothing. Like I said, when I was a small child, this stuff used to scare the crap out of me, pardon my French. But I was the only one in my family that ever was this happening to. So for the longest time, my mother being this God-fearing, Christian lady she was, didn't want to hear it. I couldn't say anything to her, nothing.
Wow. So, okay, now you said a clairvoyant, and
I sum it all up and...
But, okay, so did this all come in stages, or did you have it all at once?
I think I had it all at once, but discovered it in stages.
How old were you when all this started happening?
About 4.
No.
At least 4. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was happening to you when you were 4 years old?
Okay. It always started with a nightmare, as most kids that young have night terrors or whatever, but mine seemed to be in the room with me. So I would see all kinds of things. I didn't know what they were, but I do remember seeing shadows moving from the wall, crossing the door, and I'm 4. Okay, was it somebody? Maybe, I don't know, but it used to scare the bejesus out of me.
Oh.
But the remote viewing has come in very handy these past several years now. I actually help paranormal groups from around the country.
From your home?
From my home in South San Francisco, at a distance. They give me an address, and that's it. No, a lot of times I don't get a state. A lot of times I don't get, a town. They just give me an actual address. And I can tell physical features about the place. But what I've found out since doing that also is that I don't consider myself a medium. Not at all. I do readings for people, yes.
Now, how are you able to do readings if you're not a psychic?
Well, I don't know. I've always been able to do that. I've always known things about people, and it all started, I remember when I was about 7, I just had to touch somebody.
Really?
Yeah. And that's where the psychometry, I learned later on, later in later years, psychometry is ability to pick up an inanimate object or a person, whatever, and know things about the connection to whatever this object is to...
Okay, hey, listen. So, if suppose you're somewhere and you're getting vibes about a certain person that might be really a bad person, and you go over them, and just for the hell of it, you like, oh, hey, hi, do I know you?
Well,
and try to touch them and pick up.
I don't have to touch them now.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No.
So you can pick that up.
Yeah, most people. My stepmother used to tell me that I was a good judge of horse flesh. The old saying. But I could always tell about somebody how their mood was, how they were feeling. Sadness, sickness. I mean, you name it. And originally I needed to touch somebody, but over the years I don't need to.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what have you been doing lately?
What I would do lately, do lots of readings, through my website. I have been on national television on my ghost story caught on camera because of my remote viewing. I have that on my website too if you ever want to take a look at it. I've been to a couple of paranormal conferences here in the Bay Area and in Southern California. Just getting the word out and letting other paranormal investigators know that I can help them. And
awesome. So, we picked out some locations for Harvey, or I picked them out. And so, Harvey, I'm dying to give the viewers the information about Clinton Road.
Okay.
Okay. Now, where's your notes?
Oh, they're right here.
Okay. All right. So, as I said a couple of weeks ago, I did a show on Clinton Road. Let me find Clinton Road. Clinton Road is one of the most haunted roads in America. And right off from this road, there is a castle. And right now, and all we knew it as was the Cross Castle. And it was in ruins. The ruins were there, but it has since been demolished. Let me show you a couple other pictures of it. This is what was left after they had the fire. Let's see. This Cross Castle. When was it built, Harvey? It was in 18.
They claim between the late 1890s and the early 1900s, but they're not really sure. My friend couldn't find that information for me.
Okay, so go ahead. Okay, so you go ahead. Harvey will tell you the real name of this castle.
All right.
He has all the information from his friend
Greg Wojin.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. So go ahead, tell us about this castle.
Okay, Cross Castle. The actual name. There had been a couple of names associated with this place. From Noreen has told me, and through some of their own research that I have found out myself. But my friend Greg, through his resources that he has available to him, the actual name that is connected with this particular property, his name was Richard James Cross. He was born in 1884 on November 3rd, born in Liverpool, England, to Wilma and Anna Chalmers Wood/Cross. He moved to New York City in June 3rd, 1872. He married Matilda Redmond. She was also from New York.
And the thing is, there are no pictures of the family so far. They can't find any pictures of this family. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I wish they had pictures, because I would...
Oh, that'll be the next.
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe Greg can find them.
Pictures?
Go ahead.
Okay, so anyways, they married, let's see, and that was 1885 on May 16th. Like I said, Matilda, and then they ended up having 6 children. Their names were, they had 3 girls, 3 boys. Eleanor, Mary, Emily, and then for the boys, it looks like, I'm reading off the information off what my friend sent me. It looks like Elliot. Let's see.
Can I read it for you?
No, I got it. William and John.
Okay, but now William was the grandfather.
Eventually, yes, he was. No, it was Richard Cross. Richard James Cross was the actual grandfather. William was one of his sons.
Oh, okay. Oh,
he was his middle son. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. Mr. Cross. He was involved in banking in New York City, where he immigrated from in 1872. Went to, I'm just assuming, Ellis Island. Let's see. Okay, he worked for, it looks like, a few banking institutions, but the most one that's actually mentioned here is Morton, and I think it's Bliss and Company from 1878 to 1899 when he retired, and then he was director of Manhattan Trust. U.S. trustees of Lloyd's, Commercial Union Insurance Company, Palatine Insurance Company, Atlas. It goes on and on and on.
Now, his father was very wealthy? Was it his father?
Well, William's father was very wealthy. It was, he came over here and he got into investment, I guess banking, that's what it said. And it was William who took over the banking, from his father, it sounds like, and ended up building quite a few of the banks, in the greater New York area right there.
So, what was the real name of this castle? Barrett. It was called
Bear Fort.
Bear Fort was the real name.
Yeah, Bear Fort. Yep, was the real name of the property.
And guess what? Greg got us pictures from the inside, so I'm going to show you. Now this one here, it looks like it's, like those windows that we just saw. I guess in those days they didn't have glass, huh?
Oh no, they had glass.
Well,
absolutely.
All right. So some of those, like this, might have been a porch of some kind.
Could have been a screen.
Yeah.
Could have been a screen porch.
Yeah, I can't tell, but it's like all open. Now some of those openings look like some of these off of this,
absolutely.
Off of that.
Yep.
And this is absolutely amazing. I'm just in seventh heaven that we have those pictures. And then here's another picture, I guess, of that. Oh, it looks like an outside,
porch, yeah,
an outside porch. Now this doesn't look like it's screened in because you can see
Yeah.
how the stone is.
Yeah, that just looks like maybe it's a breezeway porch.
Now you guys are watching this for the first time. Nobody has these pictures. Nobody. And then now here we're going to go on the inside. This is one of the rooms that has a fireplace. Now, why do you think they only took so many pictures?
I don't know. Maybe it was for posterity. Maybe it was for insurance. I don't know.
Here's another picture. This looks like probably maybe, it must have been one of the bedrooms.
Yeah. Look at that beautiful.
That mirror's gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Now the thing is, we don't know the size of the castle. It's been rumored that it had 45 rooms. Now they did have 6 children, but still 45 rooms. Now he was very wealthy and prominent.
Yes.
And again, why they picked that area to build this castle, and it would make sense that they built this castle the way they did because being from London.
Well,
that would make sense.
Well, I had read somewhere that it was a English Tudor revival, so that would make sense.
But look, it was made all out of stone.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Absolutely.
That doesn't look like a that looks
like
just
a traditional Tudor.
No. It just looks like a big,
castle.
huge stone castle. It's huge. So again, I was just thrilled. Oh, also, wait a minute, I forgot one more. They all tell them about the electric in those days.
Yes. My friend Greg sent a picture along with the information, and what it was is that back in them days, especially late 1800s, early 1900s, indoor plumbing was something futuristic. Not very many people had that availability, but the Cross Mansion did. The picture you're looking at right now is a historical picture, I guess from the property. That is their stone water tower. According to what it was read here, it says the Cross family enjoyed the luxury of hot and cold running water at the Beaufort house. Local spring water was stored in a 25,000 gallon stone tower on the grounds and was piped onto the castle and through its gardens and outbuildings on the estate. Now, if they had if they had plumbing, I'm just assuming that they also had the ability to have hot water. Could you imagine? See, back in the old days when you wanted to take a bath, what are you doing? You're heating the water.
Yeah.
You're pouring it in the bathtub, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, direct from the spigot, I'm pretty sure. And this next picture that you're seeing, this was from a satellite picture. I can't remember what Greg told me who it was from. I'm just going to assume Google Earth, but I can be wrong. Anyways, it's looks like late fall, early winter, when there was no foliage, so you could be seen. And this is the only remaining standing structure that is on the premise.
Unbelievable. Can you imagine the plumbing that it took to put in that castle? That is unbelievable. He must have had so much money to do this.
Well, and think of it, all they had was copper piping back in that days. They didn't have galvanized didn't come into the, like maybe after World War One. I can be wrong about that, but because not very many houses were plumbed. But I'm sure whatever it was the best of what it was.
Now, can you visualize anything or pick up anything from that location? Do you want me to show you a picture?
Show me a picture.
All right, what kind of a picture would you like to see? How about the inside? Would the inside be better for you?
Yeah, possibly.
All right, let's see. Let's pick a picture. How about the living room?
Okay. As you know, in these types of houses, these big houses, I want to say because that fireplace is so prominent and it's so large and not that much furniture around. Obviously, it was a huge room, so I'm just wondering if that was, back in the day they had men's parlors and they had the ladies' parlors, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering if that is possibly the men's parlor, which possibly could have had a game room or something in it. I mean, I can be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was more for show than actual, use. I'm not saying that they didn't use it.
Are you picking up anything on the family at all?
Well, I'm picking up, like, nervous energy, I want to say. I feel that they were a loving family, but, most families have issues, and one thing about this whole thing, what you got, from talking with you, and you're telling me about the crosses, this whole thing brought to light. I mean, I've known about the Pine Barrens and this, Cullen Road and all that, but I remember about this one particular thing, and it's very intriguing. What happened to these people?
Exactly.
Right?
Okay. Do you know? Are you picking up anything?
The only thing without historical record to back this up, it's a feeling. I have a feeling that Mr. Cross lived a full life. I'm getting late 70s, possibly early 80s. I feel he was a heavy smoker. I don't know about the drinking part, but I feel that he was a heavy smoker. I feel that him and Matilda, although they loved each other, but he had his wing in the house, she had hers. And I just think that was an accepted way of life back in them days. And I feel by the time they actually moved into this house, I feel that they already had grown children. I feel 2 of the daughters were, and 1 male, were already grown up. And I feel that the 1 male was Elliot, but there's no record, that I could pull anything from. But the question is, why on earth, when everybody else, including the Native Americans at that time, stayed away from the Pine Barrens?
Well, then weren't they cursed?
Cursed, whatever, but I did a little research and I found out that during the founding of the colonies, that a lot of the lumber that is in the Pine Barrens is still to this day very mature, very old growth trees.
They don't touch it.
They didn't touch it. Nobody wanted it. I don't know if there was an issue with the wood. I don't know. But I didn't see any records of any requisitioning of Pine Barren woods, because there were some of the Dutch colonies that were there in New York were very specific, and they gave very specific locations of the type of woods that they needed to build their structures. Yeah. And a lot of upstate New York, some from Massachusetts, even from Vermont and New Hampshire, but nothing from New Jersey.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Greg will give us some more information.
I hope anything you can get us.
I'm thrilled. Okay, so what area would you like to go into next? I picked out several. So which one would you like to do next?
Let's spin the wheel.
Lizzie Borden.
Let's try it.
Okay. All right, let's do Lizzie Borden. Okay, there's the house.
I've always been under the impression that, as we all know the story, about what infamously, happened there at the house. Some claim that, obviously she did it, right?
Yes.
And then she ended up getting away with it. And she was one of the first, what do they call it? They put her, institutionalized her for a little bit, and then she came back and she lived in the house, correct?
I think she moved out of that house, though, and bought another house.
Yeah. Because, from what I remember, she came back and found her parents like this, correct?
That's the story.
Yeah, that's the story. And unfortunately, back in them days, they didn't have forensics, CSI, like they do today. So, you can only question somebody for so much, and there's no physical evidence, which they had only circumstantial evidence. I feel that she was a typical daughter. I feel that both parents were very strict. I think they were, pious people. I think Lizzie was a progressive. I think she was totally into women's suffrage, suffragettes and all that stuff.
Can I ask you another question? There was also talk of incest going on.
Heard that too. I say no to that.
Okay.
And the only reason is, I think her dad was too prudish. So that kind of defeats the entire purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Now, okay, so I'm going to show the pictures of the bodies. Are you picking up? This is Abby.
Yeah, this is Abby. She was found. Was it between the bed?
I think next to the bed.
Okay, next to the bed,
the
and the father was downstairs.
Yes.
On the
this
chase.
is the father. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show them.
Yeah.
This is the father laying on the chair. And then that's Andrew, and this is Abby. She was on the floor in her bedroom.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of the blows came from, what they were saying in the report when the bodies were found. They weren't touched or moved. Sometimes I had read historically that they would find a dead body back in those days and they would place it on a bed to make it comfortable.
What was the reasoning for her smashing, or whoever did it, smashing there in the upper part, the head?
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. A lot of times, people try to destroy the way a person looks, right? So they can't tell who it is. Now, why would Lizzie want to do that? Why would she try to destroy her own parents' face when all of her neighbors knew who they were?
Maybe she hated them.
Well, she could have. But why would she go to that much? I mean, I know there's rage and there's hate, but
wouldn't that be more of a hate crime?
Yeah, possibly. But I think I can be wrong. Nobody knows, but I'm just going to go on a limb here. I feel it was a home invasion. I really do. I feel that father, I don't think he was actually killed there. I think he was sat there. Or because in my mind, I see him standing up. I see him in that room, but not close to the thing. I see him standing up, and as he's being bludgeoned, he's backing up, and he falls into the chair.
Interesting.
Right? Now, go ahead.
So you think it was a home invasion, male or female?
I think it was a male.
A male.
Yeah. And I think it was somebody they knew. Because there was no type of defense. There was no defense wounds. It was all in the head, the neck.
Yeah.
He was bashed from behind numerous times before it got anywhere on his face. And that's when you see him on the couch, when he's like this.
Yeah.
If you look at it, he's got here and here. Yeah. But the majority of it is back here, right?
Oh.
And Mom, the mother, I'm just assuming she ran up the stairs. She was downstairs when it happened. She runs upstairs. Where do you go? Your safe room, your bedroom.
Yeah.
She doesn't know where to go. What am I doing? There's probably no closets. I think I remember seeing an armoire in that room.
Yeah.
So
that was her bedroom.
Yeah, is she gonna hide in there? I mean, we know you're in there. I'm raw.
Well, that looks like furniture was huge in those days. Well, that's very interesting. Can you come up with any kind of a name, or was it a neighbor? I mean, you said they knew them.
Yeah.
But, can you come up with a name or what this person did for a living?
That I'm not that good.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could, but it doesn't work like that. But the reason why I said it feels like it was a known person was because I feel what was happening prior, what happened, was that I felt like it was a neighborly sort of, come on in, we're talking, and then I feel from the time they went from the door into the room, to the living room, that's when it changed. And where are they going to go? And him being a pious, God-fearing person, he might have been a very stern man, but he didn't know how to fight. But I think it happened. He was hit first. This is how I think. What I'm seeing in my head is that they walk from the front door with this person. He's in back of the father. Mother's in front. They walk in, from the front door. I think they turn left to go into that parlor. And he, just as they walk in, first hit in the back of his head. Knocks him, he turns around, he's, stunned. Now, my thing is, why wouldn't she run outside if that was the case? Mother. Why would she run upstairs? I mean, this is just my impression.
Wasn't she already home?
She was already home, but they were both already home. I mean, they were both there. And this happened supposedly during the middle of the day. So, because Lizzie was out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and she came home and found them.
And she came home and found them. Now, here's another weird connotation. Now, Lizzie was early 20s.
She was pretty young.
Yeah, late teens, early 20s. Here's a possibility. I don't know if it's been hit, talked about. What if she had a male suitor that was coming to ask Dad for her hand, right?
Yeah.
And just, no, just, and then the guy loses it.
Okay, there was also talk that Lizzie and the sister were doing things together.
Yes, there was. But can you, of course, everything's conjectured. That's why it was all, there's nothing substantial about it.
So you don't believe, from what you're picking up, then you don't believe Lizzie did it then?
For her, unless she was this psychopathic sociopath that totally believed her own story, that she didn't do it, and did this Linda Blair, exorcist, Sybil kind of different personality, because the entire time, she said she was innocent, she's innocent, she was remorseful and everything, right? And they're still trying to pin it on her because they couldn't think of anybody else. They couldn't, nobody else, right?
Yeah.
And then the rumors start flying.
Oh, right,
Yeah. So, and the sister,
Interesting. Okay, next case. How about Villisca House?
Okay, Villisca House.
I love the Villisca House.
I actually got some stuff to tell you about the Villisca House. Villisca House is in the most southern, southwestern part of Iowa, which is my home state. Hi, all my Iowa people out there. Shout out. Anyways, yes, Villisca is notorious, tragic, 1912. And I can't remember if it was before the Titanic or shortly after the Titanic, but around that same time.
I never even put those together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it's 1912-ish, and I'm going to do another shout out for a person that actually had me help on Villisca. His name is Rob Garcia. He's with Elite Paranormal of Kansas City. Hi, Rob, if you're watching. Rob had told me, before he went, that he was going to go do this. And I was totally jealous. I live in California. He's in Kansas. He's 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
So he asked me if I could, what my thoughts were, what my feelings was, because I've been helping Rob and Elite Paranormal for many years, doing many cases, doing remote viewing for him. So he wanted me to, what do you feel? What do you feel about this place? Well, as I was talking to him, I drew a picture, and I'd like to share that.
All right.
I have it on my Facebook, page, and I also, as I was drawing, and that's what I always do. I always draw when somebody's asking me something. Okay, where is it? It's here. I just got to turn to the page. Here.
Let me see that. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, guys, can you see that? Gee, I would have scanned that had I. Can you? Okay. Look at that. Look at that.
Sorry.
God, okay. So I've got so it looks like two of these guys.
Yeah.
Look, it looks like this one. It looks like William Mansfield.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm drawing this, and this is what I do when I do remote viewing. write down words, I write down numbers, I draw pictures, I doodle things. And anyways, and I knew that they were killed, the Moors or the Browns? Moors, yes. Was killed by somebody. And anyways, but I drew this picture of somebody, and I kept being drawn to this weird thing on the right cheek. There's some sort of imperfection. And that was most prominent. And my buddy Rob sent me a picture of, I don't see him up there.
Oh, I just showed him. Now this here is Mansfield, which resembles, and there's also Henry Moore, who was also same last name.
Yeah.
Henry Moore, who was also a suspect. They kind of look like each other.
Yeah, kind of. But anyways, he had sent me a picture of another person that had shorter hair. I can't remember.
Okay, well, the other suspects were
the senator, right?
Frank Jones.
Yeah, not him.
And also this Reverend Kelly.
Yeah, not him.
And so it's not him.
Yeah, there's one more, but yeah, it could be. So anyways, it was just kind of amazing how the similarity that I had from the picture that Rob had sent me. And it does even resemble the two of those guys.
Uh-huh.
So
it does.
Yeah. So the story is, and always has been, the legend always been, is that somebody was waiting in the upstairs attic, which is in the girls' room.
Oh yeah, I have a picture of that. The attic. There's the attic.
Yeah. And it's
but they also said that they thought that somebody was hiding in. Oh, hold on, hiding in the. Is this to the attic?
The small door.
But see that closet? They also thought that somebody was hiding in that. The story goes that they thought somebody was hiding in the closet, waiting for them.
Yes, exactly. So there's those two possibilities. So as I'm explaining this to Rob, and I drew this picture, some time passes on, and then they go, to do the investigation. And Rob is a very seasoned professional investigator. He's cool as a cucumber under the worst of pressures. And they usually will get things set up and do a walk around and get their feel about the place, and then they'll call me to let them know, so I can start doing reading for a place. And we weren't even on the phone 5 minutes, and Rob goes, "Harv, I have to tell you this. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to be on guard constantly here." He says, I feel like I need to fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the night goes on, and that was kind of always in the back of his mind, and he was really, concerned. Let's put it that way. And for Rob to be concerned about something like that, it's not a good thing. So one of the investigators, it was a female. There was Rob and another guy and this female. And we had been investigating. I'd send them upstairs, and then I'm like, "Oh, I don't feel him anymore." And I feel you got to go downstairs. You know how they like to draw you into places, and then they don't end up not being there. So on the second or third time that happened, I told this girl, I said, "Christina," I said, "you need to go downstairs." And she went downstairs.
And you were doing this over the phone?
Over the phone. I was in South City. And I said, "Are you anywhere near the back door from the kitchen?" She goes, "I'm about 4 feet away from it." And just immediately, I wish I could show you what I saw in my mind.
What did you see?
It looked like this big, undulating, black, massive cloud that was just twisting and turning and was really angry, and and I had this feeling that she needed to be protected physically. So I told Rob, and I told him and the other guy, Wes, to sandwich her, and I mentally was trying to shield both, all three of them. And all of a sudden, I hear this, I hear her, she just flat out screams, and she drops down between the two of them.
Oh my God.
And Wes, he's a pretty good sized guy, and this little lady pushed him out of the way like he was nothing. to get him out of the way, and she ran out the door.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just got this mask, but did you get anything else?
Yeah, I felt that whatever that mass was, and I have a theory about what's happening here also today. That mass, in the center of it, is whoever did do the nasty deed. That's the central energy that stays there to protect that no one ever finds out. Right? And the mass that I saw in my mind, there's so many people that have come and gone out of that place, and especially ever since it's been on television because of its notoriety.
Uh-huh.
Think about this, all you paranormal investigators out there. You know, you all know about attachments. They are spirit energies that attach to people who are sensitive, even if though they don't know about it. And when you physically seek spirit, the spirits know that. And if they know that there's a kink in your shield, which most people don't protect themselves, you're their meal ticket out of there. They attach to you. But what I feel what happens is that they, wherever they're pulled from, they end up staying and get sucked into that mass at Villisca.
Get out of here.
And become an amalgamation of that superimposed negativity.
Oh my God.
Just my theory, but from what I was envisioning and what I've been feeling the entire time about that place, it makes sense.
Okay, so supposedly the killer somehow, whether he was already in the house, I have no idea. The hatchet was on the outside of the house. He was able to get that hatchet. He brought it in the house. Now, the first level, the two neighbor girls were sleeping in that downstairs bedroom.
Yes.
And they believe that they were killed first.
Yes.
They were. You think so? Can you picture anything?
Well,
now the thing about it is, there's two girls there. They were probably sleeping in the same bed.
Yes.
How can you kill one girl
without waking up the
up the other one?
And that's the crux of this whole thing. And even the busybody neighbor, the elderly lady who lived directly next door, who knew everybody's business in that town, who hears everything, heard nothing that evening.
Exactly. How could that be?
And it was her that went the next day because he was a reverend, wasn't he, Mr. Moore?
Oh, no. No.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he was in hardware or something. He had his own business.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the
other guy.
Yeah. He was the supposedly
a circuit reverend, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, she probably picks her nose out the window. She was go, hey, how come my neighbors aren't up yet? It's way past the time they should be. She goes there. She finds them. She alerts everybody. They come. Now, this is where I get the impression that the bodies were in the beds.
Right.
Right. But my impression is that I don't think anybody was hiding, waiting for them. I think that they either just walked in themselves because nobody locked their doors back in them days.
Right.
But also at the same time, the two girls downstairs, he was known to them. They knew who he was. So why should they be? Why would they be afraid and yell and scream?
Oh.
Makes sense. So. Easy. Go ahead.
No. Oh, go ahead. Finish what you were going to say.
So easy for him to dispatch them first, right?
But he's, and they did. Okay, so you can't kill two at one time, can you?
Well, unless they're small enough, and
they were. I forget how old they were.
Well, it's funny. I wished, I wish they would have kept better records.
They were like what, 8 years old, maybe something
small.
Like that.
But I'm just wondering if it could be a possibility. This is just a possibility that they knew who he was, maybe he really quickly did them in first.
But wouldn't they scream?
I don't know. Well, obviously they didn't because no one heard anything.
Okay, now I don't know in what I know that the face was all chopped up.
And
okay,
upper body.
And upper body. Now I don't know about the court records, and I forgot to ask. I did a show on this with Dr. Epperling. If the bed was full of blood, because you had mentioned something else to me.
Yes, I did. I'm just wondering if they had been out of bed trying to, and they did hear what's going on downstairs, and they did try to...
Well, these are the two girls first now downstairs.
Exactly, but what I'm talking about is the mother and father upstairs. Now, maybe they heard a commotion. Because it's weird, because there was found, all that blood downstairs in that back part of the house.
Was it in the kitchen?
In the kitchen, and there was supposedly, there wasn't one of the wash basins full of blood.
It was full of blood.
Yeah,
right.
So he did this thing, whoever this was, and washed up a little bit, but think about this. You're bludgeoning somebody with a axe, and there should be blood splattered everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But there wasn't, all the blood that was there was pretty much contained, right? And then the upstairs was a low ceiling.
Right.
And there was whack marks.
Right.
So this person had to have been, good size to be able to get that up.
Right. That's why they ruled out the Reverend. He was too short.
Yeah, too short. Yeah, exactly. And then the senator had his alibi, was ironclad. Now, the other guy, the handyman drifter.
Oh, this guy Mansfield?
Yeah. Was he not indicted in...
They thought he committed a murder in another town.
Yeah, absolutely. Very similar to what happened, in Villisca.
And Henry Moore, what about him? I believe he also was involved in possible other other crimes.
And I think it was in northern Iowa someplace, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so okay, now is it possible because the murder didn't kill them in their beds? But the thing about it is, if they weren't killed in their beds and they went and the bodies were brought upstairs, what about a blood trail?
Well, you'd think that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I've always had this impression that somebody was downstairs besides the girls.
So you don't think he was alone?
No, I don't think he was alone.
No,
I
you
really
think
don't.
there
Yeah.
was some?
Yeah.
Are you getting any images? Are you picking up anything?
Well, okay. Think about this. All right, my picture that I drew looks very similar to those two guys.
Right.
So maybe what I did was I took a little bit of both of them and put them into one picture.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know why.
Geez, if I had a picture of that, I would have put all three of them together.
That was an afterthought. I didn't know, if I should bring that, but I brought it anyway.
Glad you did.
But so I think there was two people. I think that one stayed downstairs, the other one crept up the stairs, and did in however they did it first. But I think they did the parents before they did the other children upstairs. And because there was a rumor that particular closet also, there was a child's nightshirt or something that had been somehow pulled. It was down in the ground. Where was I read that? Internet. I can never keep my web straight. These, I don't know if these are theories or they're stories, if it's actuality, but in some closet area, I think it's this one because this is where Paul, one of the kids was Paul. His name is Paul.
Yes.
People get EVPs
that say Paul.
That say Paul from that particular closet. So,
do you think he was hiding in there?
Good possibility.
Oh my God, how sad.
Yeah. So with that said,
Harvey, don't you pick up on any of the sadness or anything?
I feel despair is what I feel. Sadness, that's part of despair. it's more anguish than anything else, because I feel that this black mass has pulled all this energy all these years to really keep people from finding out what actually happened. Because, I can be wrong about this, I feel that he has, or they have, surviving family members in that town today. And he doesn't want them implicated, or the family name to be.
So you don't think they'll ever find out who the killer was?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know how you do that, right?
I don't think anybody has really. There's been no psychics or anything that have predicted who
No.
or that they came up with a killer.
Well, you do know, as far as part of the story, is that a couple of local people, including supposedly this senator, fancied Mrs. Moore, and risked, their reputations to seek her, to advance, give her advancements, and she turned them all down, right? So, maybe that was part of what happened to them, was because she didn't.
So so if you think about the Villisca House, can you pick up anything else from the Villisca House? Are the children? Okay, so I know they get EVPs from a boy named Paul.
Yeah.
And a couple of the girls. What about the other people that have been killed at the Villisca House? Are they still hanging out there?
This is what I think. I think the mother and father are still up in that bedroom. And whatever this is doesn't allow them to have access to their children. Keeps them separate.
Really?
Yeah. My friend Rob got a couple of very interesting EVPs, from Villisca. And one, I can be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he got the boy,
He did, Paul.
Yeah, and I think he got a male too, but the male it sounded very angry. Says like, I'm going to hurt her or something like that. And maybe he was referencing to.
I think one of the EVPs was a female, and she said, he's going to hurt us.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, he's going to hurt us.
Yeah. So
though,
maybe,
if they could get EVPs from those children, they could tell you.
They probably could. Yeah. And I think maybe people have been asking the wrong questions.
Could be. I wish you had your ghost box with you. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you picking up anything else from Villisca?
No, other than it's just one of them great mysteries that you got stories, facts, right? And this is where it's at.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you were picking up anything.
No, nothing more than what I've already said and did. So
okay, so next case, which one would you like to do? Are you well, you don't have to be familiar, but there's the Black Dahlia that was an unsolved murder.
Yeah, let's do the Black Dahlia.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know the case of the Black Dahlia, but
she was found out in a field.
Well, yeah, but she was very promiscuous.
Yes.
She was a gorgeous girl. She met a lot of military people. She would meet them at the bar, and she loved to party. And she would go off to hotel rooms with them. And there's a lot of pictures of her in bars and with men. And somehow, I don't know the whole story. That the son almost came on my show, Steve Hodel.
I didn't know that.
Yes, a couple of years ago, he said he would come on the show, and he said he couldn't come that night because he was going to his son's birthday party.
Wow.
And I've tried to get him on since, and he will not do any shows.
Wow.
Now, okay, so this girl, Elizabeth Short, and actually she is buried here about 20 minutes from my house in Oakland, California, in the cemetery there.
Yeah.
And we did go visit her grave. I found her grave. It was so, my God, it was so hard to find. she and there must have been some kind of relationship with her, and this is the doctor, Dr. George Hodel, who they believe is the suspect that killed her. And the reason now here's another picture of Elizabeth. She was gorgeous, beautiful. Dark raving hair and beautiful blue eyes. And again, here's Dr. George Hodel, and I think they wanted to arrest him, and he took off to Canada.
Yeah.
Now, his son is a former LA police officer, and he has written a book. He believes his father, Dr. George Hodel, killed Elizabeth Short.
Wow.
I know he was also he also did abortions in his house. I think his office was in his house, and he did abortions, and God only knows what else he did. Now here's the body. This is how she was found. She was found in pieces.
Absolutely pieces.
Yeah.
So here's a take. What if she had been to him because of her promiscuity?
I know what you're gonna say.
A few times.
Oh my God! I never thought about that.
All right. Okay.
He did abortions.
Okay. So with that being said, let's paint this picture.
Okay, but I want you to be. Are you picking this up?
Yeah,
this is what you're picking up. Well, tell the viewers this is what you're picking up.
Okay. My feelings are this. I feel that she went to him at a younger age for maybe her first abortion. Back in the time when couldn't do it. It was illegal. No abortion rights, nada, no Planned Parenthood, nothing. You play risky, you assume all the risks. So I feel that this was her way of birth control, so she could go out and do her thing and not have to worry. Wonder if, and I feel that Mr. Dr. Hodel, because he got to know her, maybe started taking a shine to her. Okay?
Well, she was young and beautiful.
Absolutely. And he was much older than she was. So what if one day he had the courage to finally ask her out or whatever, and she totally jilted him and said, "Oh, you're too old. You're my doctor."
That makes sense.
Right? So being jilted like that, especially after he figured, well, he's already seen everything, I like you, you're a regular customer, but, maybe I can help you. Jilted him. And he's a doctor. So, because, she was missing her breasts,
she was all chopped up.
Yeah, all chopped up. Missing the downstairs department, right?
She was gutted.
Yeah. So with that said, a doctor would know how to do that.
Exactly.
Right? So, and then just due to the fact that he up and left for possibly Canada, it's never been verified, I don't think.
That's what I read.
I'm just saying.
I don't know if it is. That's what they say.
Because if that's the case, Canada would have over the years would have tracked him down. But anyways, so interesting. I never really thought about that until you mentioned it, and it just sort of popped into my head as a scenario.
Okay, so go if you can go. This was in the 40s, I believe. Go back in time, and she was found in. Let's see. I
think she was brought there. I don't think she was killed there. I think she was brought there after the fact.
Yeah. I remember reading something about a bathtub that she might have been chopped up, but that doesn't make sense because he would have had a table.
Yeah.
So go back and see if you can go into his office and on the table and And how did it, and also her face was sliced. Yeah, sliced.
Yeah. So
go back. See if you can go back.
I don't think it was at the office. I feel he followed her home. It was at her home. Because I don't see a doctor's office. I don't see this happening at a doctor's office. Not.
So what are you seeing?
I see a small apartment. I see a bathroom. Shower curtains, right? Possibly, well, because there was constriction marks found on her throat, according to the report. So possibly she was suffocated first, had her way, and then, well, like maybe he's just having all this rage, well, you are the whore you are, so I'm going to treat you like one.
I'll be damned.
Right? And happens there. It's funny because I don't think they actually checked her where she stayed. I can't remember if I read that, if they actually had checked where she lived. Or it could possibly even be a hotel, a small hotel. Something with a small bathroom, there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Dumped in that location and displayed, that's hate right
there. Her legs were displayed, spread apart, and it obviously it had to do with something sexual.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
And then just due to the fact that the doctor more or less disappears.
Yeah.
Shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
So, can we prove that?
And so you don't. Now you see a picture of him. So let me show you a picture of him again.
Yeah.
Okay, look at him. Now, obviously, that was from the 40s.
Yeah.
What do you pick up from him just by looking at him? What do you pick up from him?
Nervousness, deceit, secretive.
Had he killed anybody else?
Not adult.
Oh, besides the abortions.
Besides the abortions, yeah. And I think now, even looking at him on this picture, I don't think that was his plan to have that happen. I think it just got carried away. And then I feel that, there was some rejection about it. Like, okay, we had our fun, we're done.
Now, being married to a policeman, because we would talk about things, obviously it was a hate crime, and when it was a sexual hate crime, and I forgot what I was going to say. I had a point I was going to talk about because it had something to do with, oh my God, yeah. And the thing is, could this doctor have been gay?
Well, for the time period.
Could he have, or not, I take that back, not gay, but not been able to have sex?
Possibly impudent.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. I mean, could have had.
And maybe she made fun of him.
That could be a good possibility. I mean, knowing of what they knew of her and her promiscuity, and that she liked to party, I wouldn't put it past her.
And that's what I was thinking about. Okay, can you pick up anything else?
I think there was more clues that were overlooked at the scene. I think because of the shock and the awe of what they found. Because I feel at that point in time, not that there has never been murders in that area, but I think she was the first one that they found in this condition. The mutilation of it. I feel that if they were to go back today and do a little digging around from where the body was found, what I'm picking up, I don't know if it was a charm necklace or some could have possibly have been there.
Oh, on the body?
On the body.
Really? And
yeah.
then,
And then fell off, missed. What happened? After they dumped it, it fell off.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's about all I'm getting on.
Okay. Did you want to do anything else, or did you want to do that one at all?
I don't.
Oh, what about this one? Elisa Lam.
Let's try it.
Okay. Oh God, and you know what? Oh, this girl here. I don't know if you guys remember the story on this. This Elisa Lam. She was a student from Canada, and she had come here to California. I guess it was to visit relatives or friends, and she was staying at the St. Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles, and I thought I had a picture of the hotel. And one of the nights or days, because there's security cameras that they have in the elevators, they have a film clip of her going into the elevator and then acting really strange, really weird. She went into the corner. Here, there's a slight picture of her right there on the end. She was in the corner, but then what she did was, it came to a floor. I don't know if that was the floor she wanted to go to, and when the doors opened, she started to walk out of the elevator, but very. What the hell is that?
Somebody knocking.
Guys, hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Jimmy! I'm doing a show. Oh my God.
Here's a cannoli. See ya.
Okay, thank you. I got the sound on. Oh God, I'm gonna have to cut that out. Oh, sorry guys. That was my son. He brought me a cannoli. Bless you, Jimmy. Okay, let me go back. Okay, anyway, so she was acting really weird. She stepped out of the elevator and she looked around. It was really weird, and she kind of looked around and then she stepped back, and then I think she finally. I don't know if she went back into the elevator and went to another floor and then finally got out. But guess what? She disappeared. She disappeared.
Looking at the picture of her standing in the corner like that, she looks, in the corner of the, she looks very guarded. Like she's anticipating something, and she's nervous and she's trying to, she's protecting her back. Yeah. So I'm wondering if she had been followed.
Are you picking that up, that she was followed?
I have a strong feeling that could possibly be the case. Follow her. I think, she was walking. I see her walking down the street, not too far from. I believe that this hotel is not in a very good part of Los Angeles. I feel it's close to Hollywood, like downtown. And I think, because there's pretty shady characters, especially down there where Grauman's Theater is, in that area. Elisa was back, a while ago. I feel she knew she was being followed. And
do you know why? Are you picking up anything?
I think that this was a worst fear that she had. One of her worst fears was being somebody following her. She's in a strange place. Somebody's following her. She can't get away. It's like a nightmare, right? I do have a belief. I believe that the person that followed her has a connection to this hotel. And the reason why I'm saying this is because where they found her body.
Oh yeah. Um, okay, so what happened was the hotel, they were complaining that their water was being discolored and it wasn't
Foul
coming out
taste.
right.
Yep, and low pressure.
Yeah. And so I guess because of the complaints, they went to the what are those, water storage. Yeah, the water storage, and they opened up one of them, and that's where they found her body.
So,
but she had no clothes on.
Yeah.
She was nude.
So I don't think she was swimming. I don't think she went for a swim. I feel that, to me, I feel that this perpetrator, I do believe that this is a homicide. I do believe she was killed. I do believe she was sexually assaulted, but not on the roof. I feel it, it had to be, it feels to me like whoever this was had something to do with this hotel. Could have been maintenance, could have been whoever, who had access to the roof, especially had access to the keys that locked those tanks.
That's a good point.
Yep. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. So I think that somehow they knew that she was alone, that she was staying there by herself. Probably followed her around for a couple of days. I think that she became aware of that, or possibly even was confronted by this particular individual, was trying to do advancements to her, and probably freaked her out, So, yeah, I just have.
That's very interesting because nobody's ever been charged for her murder.
Yeah, I'm sure that they questioned everybody, during the hotel, the workers and stuff, and I'm sure the maintenance workers, the people who would have access to the roof, have access to the keys to those tanks, who did maintenance to the tanks. There's probably the first people that they.
Oh, of course. I mean, that would be the logical.
Yeah. So my thing is, what if it was a bellhop? What if it was just some low guy on the totem pole? Think about it. Attractive young lady comes in. She's all alone. She's going to stay however long she's going to stay. Carries her bags up to her room. Right? Knows where she's at. Right? Probably starts striking conversations up with her. And knows about the hotel.
You're right about the hotel being seedy. You're absolutely right on that. Because supposedly Richard Ramirez stayed there and another murderer stayed at that hotel. And God only knows who else was there. But I'm not... They would have to have access to that key.
Absolutely. I mean, because they're not just going to... They would not leave the roof open to anybody, especially that kind of hotel. They're not going to say, hey, come up to our roof. It's nice and sunny. Have it, get a suntan. No.
Yeah.
It was locked.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'd have a key to get in.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and I bet you that the tank was even locked, when they went to go to find out what was wrong.
It was locked.
So
they keep those tanks locked.
Yeah. So with that being said, so anybody thinking possibly that it was, she wanted to go for a swim and she drowned. No. First of all, how would she, getting yourself into the tank is one thing, because it looked like you could climb up some pipes, but
ladders.
Why would you put the lid down, and then would you have a friend out there locking it? I mean, was she a magician trying to rehearse an escape? Right?
Yeah. No, they had to. It was pretty hard getting up there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is definitely somebody that had intimate knowledge of the hotel.
All right, so take yourself back over there. Do you need to see a picture?
What year was this?
Oh gosh, I think 80s or 90s
so
maybe.
Not too long ago.
Yeah. Maybe 90. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Are the viewers
and where it's at, It's weird because I feel that she was taken from behind. So I don't think she ever saw who it was. I think she knows it was male. It was very powerful. But I don't think she ever had a chance to look at him. Because he made it a point to make sure that, he controlled her from behind. So that there's no way she could look. But why would that matter? Because if this was his intent.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you see anything else? Was she tortured in any way?
Well, I think she was definitely sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
But I just think it was, to me, it feels like retaliation for not, giving,
and being not from this country.
Absolutely.
From another country.
Yeah, exactly.
From Canada.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, comes and that's her last,
You picking up anything else?
No, not at this point. And it's really sad because there's so many unsolved cases. With modern technology and forensics, how they are today, you would think that we'd be able to use this technology to help us, secure and, if anything, to give closures to families who've lost.
Do you think that, well, they'll probably never be able to solve the case.
Yeah, probably not. Well, I mean, if it's that old, and the thing is that DNA, they had from her, but if there was any extra DNA, because she had been in the water for so long.
Oh yeah, there's no way.
It all would have been,
Oh yeah.
So I'm just wondering if the perpetrator understood that, or this was just lucky that he goes, well, God, where am I going to hide her? Where am I going to hide her? Oh, I'll put her upstairs, as opposed to, over time, the DNA sequence of me will
But the
dissipate.
thing is, how would he have gotten her into the tower, that was pretty...
That's why I'm saying I felt he was a powerful person.
Oh.
And I felt that he was, a good size, individual.
I mean, look at that. Look at the tank.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, look at the fire, look at the rescue people, right?
Yeah. They would have to have gotten a ladder up there somehow to get into there. And the opening really isn't that big.
No, it's not.
That's small.
Yeah.
That's... Wow. Okay. So you picking up anything else from that? Anything else on that?
Well, other than, the sadness of her family, the not knowing, the never going to have the closure. That's what I get.
But nothing else.
Well, there's really nothing else that can be said, unless there's
no image of the. But he was possibly a strong man.
Yeah, he's probably a good 6-footer, about 240 pounds. I mean, looks like she was pretty, from her pictures, she looked pretty petite.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have taken much to overpower, but something about not wanting to look into the eyes, of this victim, of a victim, not that. No, sir. I think it was just, just did it in. She just, did what he needed to do and got rid of the body. I don't think he's ever done anything else after that. But yeah, so yeah, a good, 200 plus pounds, powerful.
Wow. Well, Harvey, I guess we won't do any more then.
Well, it's up to you.
Well, did you want to do that one? That's the only one I have left.
Which one is it?
Ramsey, John Bonet.
Yeah, no, I don't want it. That's been beat up, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, when it comes to kids, I don't like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Harvey, thank you so much. Thanks.
I was glad to be here.
Oh
really
my God!
I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Oh yeah, thank you, and thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna put a whole thing together on Clinton Road and the castle, and I will give you and Greg credit.
Yes,
so if there's any more information that comes in, I'm gonna put that whole thing together.
Absolutely.
Because I can't tell you how happy I am. You have no idea about getting that information.
Greg, I told you that this afternoon, that she was going to say exactly that you had no idea how happy she was. I even said that.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been over an hour. Oh my gosh, it's going on an hour and a half.
Oh.
So everybody, now, do you have a website?
Yes, I do. My website is it's all one big long word, lowercase, Harvey, HarveyAlthaus, intuitive, intuitive.webs.com.
Awesome.
And it's got, you just come in, sign the guest book, take around, look at the testimonials, watch some of my videos. That just to say hi would be great.
That'd be awesome. Can I change spot? Now,
Absolutely.
Everybody, I put Harvey on a stool because he's like 10 feet tall.
6'5".
So he's on a stool. So I'm going to switch with Harvey so I can do my shout outs, okay? All right, let's switch.
Well, switch!
Oh, God. Here, Harvey.
These other clouds.
All right, let me switch. All right.
Do you want your chair? Or?
No. I'll do the... I'll do it this way. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm in the camera, huh?
Yeah, you are.
Am I? Is there any... Oh, look at...
Just
okay.
don't get so close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This I hope you enjoyed it. Something different, huh? Something different. Hey, I'm going to do shout-outs. And I don't know if I can get all of you. I'm going to try because I didn't have time to write it down. So, Paraghoster, Carol Lemke, The Unseen Scene, Bella Linda Jane, Quizzle, Cat Paranormal, Butterfly Kisses, Starry Night, Chipper Alexandra Violet, Royce Hinman, what? Nico Leslie missing 18-year-old male from New York. Oh, I guess they wanted you to do a remote viewing on Nico Leslie. I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah, I did. During Sarah Lamar, when she went missing, the girl from 15-year-old from Morgan Hill, a couple years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I mean, I said a couple things that were never made public, until later, but that's all I ever got. I mean, stuff that was like the purse was found out in the field and had the folded clothes inside, and I got that.
Did you? I don't even know anything about a Nico Leslie.
I haven't heard it either.
Okay, sorry, Royce. Jen Treasure Trove, Medra Knight, Unique Annie, F Warrior. See, I won't say the first word.
Yeah.
Angel Fry, Derek Wade, Melissa, Tucker Brown, Lydia F, Joy Moyer, hey Joe, Heather Popple, Jen Gable, boy this is tough, Jackie Gallio, hello everybody. Oh man, this is so hard to do it this way.
There's a lot, yeah.
Oh gosh, let me see if I can do it this way. Oh, there we go. Is that better? Let's see. Twist AK. Oh, I missed. See, I jumped. Luscious Huntress, Wolf Height, Shelly Phillips, Twista aka Twister Dar 1. Okay, I got that. Okay, guys, if you want me to say hi to you, a shout out. Type your name, Deborah Stinson, Mary Dallas. It's really hard trying to find everybody.
Yeah, so many.
God. It won't let me do anymore. It says it's too many people in chat.
It does say that. It says too many.
High volume, guys. I can't do anymore. Oh my God. I can't believe they're doing that to me.
But Noreen thanks you for the high volume. Trust me.
Oh, everybody, I'm sorry. I can't do anymore. They stopped me.
Wow.
But everybody, and again, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, next Thursday, and I don't have my calendar with me. I believe that's oh God. Oh, I can't remember the date. February 6th. Oh, hey, next Friday, Dave, Anthony, and myself, I think that's next Friday night. Don't forget, we're gonna do the ITC session, the demon with the demon doll. That's next Friday. And Thursday, oh my God, I can't remember who my guest is, but I'll post it. And again, I want to thank everybody so much for joining me. I'm sorry I can't give any more shout-outs. They blocked me.
It ain't moving.
No. So everybody, good night. Thank you. Have a great weekend. I love you all, and thanks so much for joining me. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.